Are you guys ready for religion? Where we're talking about Saul, the first king of Israel. Remember that the Israelites decided that they didn't want the judges anymore. They wanted a king, even though Samuel talked to God and God said, that's not a good thing. We shouldn't do that. They still wanted it. God gave in and said, okay, and let it happen. And we see what happens with Saul. Okay, so I have a question for you. I want you guys to name things that you used to need help with, but now can do by yourself. You were little, people had to help you with it. Think of some things. I know some. To tie your shoes, brush your teeth, read a book. Who helped you to learn these things? Your parents, teachers, grandparents, adults in your life, right? So it's a good thing to learn to do things by ourselves and be independent. And that's the goal of every parent, to help you become more independent and be able to do stuff on your own. I know this is a big thing right now with the coronavirus and us having to do school online, that you guys are learning a lot, and it's not just what Mrs. Woolman and I are teaching you. It's the process of having to do all this online. I mean, it's a huge thing. It's a lot of learning, and I know I'm learning new things with it. I'm sure your parents are, and I know Mrs. Woolman is, so it's something that we're learning to do, and it's helping you to be more independent with your work, which is great. As we grow older, we may be less and less dependent on our parents to do things for us, but we will always be dependent on God for His mercy, love, and forgiveness. We will always be dependent on God for the daily blessings He gives us. We are never independent of God. So we're going to see how Saul, at the beginning of being a king, that he was dependent on God, and then what happens when he becomes less dependent on God, and that's when his troubles began. So let's look at page 74 in your book. And the title is God Gives Israel Its First King. It says, hey, you over there in the baggage. Now you guys have already read, you should have already read the reading the 1 Samuel 10, 20 through 24, chapter 11, 12 through 15, and chapter 15. Okay, it says, hey, you over there in the baggage. Look right by the picture. There's three lines over there, and it says, Saul hid himself among the baggage. That is what you are to write on the lines right there. Saul hid himself among the baggage. Samuel was looking for Saul because he had been chosen to be what? What was he chosen to be? The first king of Israel. But Saul did not step up proudly to take on his new role. To be a good king, he would need to trust in God and follow His commandments. But did he? You guys read the story. You guys know. But let's go ahead and look over some of it. The tale of two battles. It says, against whom did Saul fight? Or did Saul and the Israelites fight? It says Ammonites there. And then I'm going to go all the way down and do the Samuel 11, 1 through 15, and then we'll do 1 Samuel 15. Go that way, okay? So we'll do the first column. So the first couple are given for us, right? And then it says, what was Saul told to do? He was told to rescue the Israelites at Jabesh Gilead. What did Saul do? Rescue the Israelites from Jabesh Gilead. Okay, to whom did Saul give the credit for the victory? So chapter 11, verse 13 says, but Saul said, not a man shall be put to death for this day, for today the Lord has worked salvation in Israel. So who did he give credit to? The Lord. What was the result? Let's look in verse 15, the results. So all the people went to Gilgal, and there they made Saul king before the Lord in Gilgal. There they sacrificed peace offerings before the Lord, and there Saul and all the men of Israel rejoiced greatly. So Saul is made king, right? Saul is confirmed as king of Israel. Pretty good. Beginning of 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel chapter 11, so not too far in. And now we're going to take a total turn when we go to 1 Samuel 15. So some time has passed. And 1 Samuel 15, I'm getting to it. Hopefully you guys have your books out, your Bibles out, and can look through this too. The title is kind of telling of it. The title of 1 Samuel chapter 15 is The Lord Rejects Saul, which is something I never want to happen to me. So pray that I always follow God, that God always keeps me on the right path. Okay, 1 Samuel 15 verse 3. So it says, against whom did Saul fight and did Saul and the Israelites fight? So verse 3 says, now go and strike Amalek and devote to destruction all that they have. Do not spare them, but kill both man and woman, child and infant, ox and sheep, camel and donkey. The Amalekites. Amalekeites. I'll spell it again. Amalekites. Amalekites. Okay, so now we're looking at, it says verse 3 also. It says, what was Saul told to do? I just read verse 3. It says, now go and strike Amalek and devote to destruction all they have. Do not spare them, but kill both man and woman, child and infant, ox and sheep, camel and donkey. Kill everything. Don't leave anything undone, right? It's not even kill the people, but kill the animals too. So totally destroy the Amalekites. Now, do I need to spell Amalekites again? Because you should know it from right before. Amalekeites. Totally destroy them. Okay, what did Saul do? I'm going to look at verses 8 through 9. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and devoted to destruction all the people with the edge of the sword. But Saul and the people spared Agag and the best of the sheep and oxen, and of the oxen and of the fattened calves, and the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them. All that was despised and worthless they devoted to destruction. So they got rid of everything they felt needed to be destroyed. Not the good things. They saved the king, right? And the fattened calves, the sheep, all the animals that they felt they can use. They saved. So it says, what did Saul do? He spared King Agag, Agag, and some plunder is what they put in the book, some plunder. So maybe just some animals. You can put that they didn't destroy everything. Okay. Now I'm going to look at verse 13. It says, to whom did Saul give the credit for the victory? Sorry, I was holding this a little bit. I think I need to figure out how to put something underneath this, or find a bigger chair or something, a taller chair or something to sit on. I apologize. Okay, so 13. Who did he give credit to? And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said to him, blessed be you to the Lord. I have performed the commandment of the Lord. I have performed the commandment of the Lord. He gave credit to himself, which actually he didn't do what the Lord told him to do. So, and then he took the credit for it, which he's already looking to himself for everything and not to God. And you see that right then. It says, what was the result? I'm going to look at verse 23. What was the result? For rebellion is as the sin of divination, and the presumption is as iniquity and adultery. Because you have rejected the word of the Lord, he has also rejected you from being king. God rejected Saul as king of Israel. That's huge. He made him king, but then since Saul didn't do what he said and then gave credit to himself for whatever was done, God rejected Saul.